Hey, Anna.
How are you?
Oops, I've got you on mute, sorry.
How are you?
There we go. Hi, Kirsten. Hi, Anna. How are you? Oh, and here's Darian.
Hello. I think that Terry's also online.
Oh,
Yes, because he sent me a message.
there we go. I didn't get a warning, sorry. So he was sitting and waiting and I didn't realise, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, Terry. Hi, Darian. Bree, I'm not sure if you can with your camera, but at the moment we're sort of cutting you off. That's better. Thank you.
Okay.
Excellent. Oh, and you've got the t-shirt on. I like it. I like it a lot. Cool.
Oh.
Yeah. Excellent. So we'll just give Anna and Abby one more minute, then we'll do a round of introductions. It's just gone by. While we're waiting for them, Kirsten and Anna, thank you so much for signing on so late in your day. I know it's 7 o'clock over there, so thank you for that.
It's all good.
And Darian, you're 4 o'clock, so you're earlier. We've got one extreme to the other.
I'm still well in daylight here, so it's fine.
Oh. Terry, how'd you cope with your 40 degrees on the weekend?
I loved it because I was removing bamboo at the same time.
Removing bamboo from the yard.
Yeah. So I think my core temperature went about 10 degrees up. So I was still overheated going to bed in the evening. But
yeah,
that's okay. Got rid of the bamboo. So
okay. Here's Anna.
you would have had the same temperature, Brianna.
You think so, wouldn't you? I don't think that I spent a lot of time outdoors this weekend. It was more of an indoor weekend.
Where are you based, Brianna?
Sydney.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Terry and myself, we are Sydney based. I think Anna R is Perth. Darian's obviously Queensland, so it's like it's the same weather all the time. 37 degrees is like your usual winter time in Queensland.
It's beautiful. I won't complain. I won't complain too much. It could be worse. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be Wellington.
Yeah.
So what we're autumn, probably the most settled time of the year, and it's been pretty much like 18 degrees all day, would you say, Kirsten? But it's very windy.
We have 90 up to 90-kilometer winds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but then again, Wellington is known for windy. Like you have
That's
attractions
right.
like those streets with the ropes, so that the wind doesn't sweep you. Yeah.
Well, I can predict the weather over east for you next week because it's 38 degrees here today.
8 degrees.
Yeah.
38.
Oh, 38.
So yeah, that'll be Sydney next week.
It'll be Sydney next week.
Really?
Yeah, there's a final heat wave in summer coming.
It's not summer anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you tell that to the weather.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't have a summer. We're having summer instead of autumn.
I think it's called Indian summer.
Yeah, very true. But I'm going to jump in here and start because our 3 judges do know Terry quite well. So we'll introduce Terry to everyone else. Terry, did you want to just say hi and share a few words of who you are with the 2022 recipients?
Sure. So hello, everyone. Delighted to meet you all and congratulations. So much win. It's fantastic. So what am I? I don't know what I am. My my proper title is Principal Agile Consultant. I work with PM Partners. I'm probably more of an Agile coach than a consultant, but because I work at PM Partners, I'm called a consultant. So I've been doing Agile stuff for about 20 years. I've got probably another 10 years before that of project delivery. I spend a lot of time in and out of business analysis roles. And I think pretty much all of what I've done all of the time has actually been utilizing business analysis practices, because business analysis is kind of this ubiquitous thing that actually applies to so much more than just what businesses might label the business analyst role. I'm a passionate supporter of the IIBA, have been for a number of years. I've spoken at FOBA, and before that, the IPD. That's right, isn't it, Brianna?
Yeah.
BA, PD,
PD.
something. And yeah, I'm here to help. My personal mission is to help people see differently so they find joy.
That's good. Thank you. So we've just had Arvind joining us now. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to remind everyone, Anna McDougall and Anna M is New Zealand Police, and Darian is from Queensland Health, our two practices of the year. I keep going to say teams, apologies. Kirsten was our emerging, and Anna R is our Cecily McDougall BA of the year. So, and Arvind, who's just joining us, some of you saw us in the judging boards as well, so he was one of our judges. Arvind, are Michael and Hayden with you, or are they?
Hayden's with me. He's just stepped out of the room. He'll be here soon. And Michael, I can't find him yet. He said he's going to give me a call when he's in the building. Okay. Otherwise, he'll join us from where he is.
Okay, cool.
You are huddled in the same place.
Yes, we both indeed are. I will take my background off so you can see him.
And for those not aware, Brianna is our Australian IIBA president. We don't have anyone from the New Zealand chapter on the call tonight. They're just going through their board recruitment for 2023. So Kirsten and Anna, if you know of anyone that would like to be on the board, reach out to them. But on that note, before Arvind's getting set up, I'll hand over Terry to you then, if you want to just give a quick run through in the next 15 minutes before we start letting people in of what the night's going to look like. And to everyone else on the call, please feel free to ask questions as Terry's doing that. My role here will be just to help pin you as you're speaking, so you appear on the screen at the right times. And we've got just a couple of intro slides and the welcome to country and that. So I'll be sharing those. Otherwise, I will be shutting up now and handing over to Terry to do his thing. Thank you very much, Terry.
Awesome. Thanks, Kylie.
Here's Hayden.
Hello, everybody.
Hayden.
I'm trying to work out whether I look here or where I'm looking.
There you look,
Yeah.
That's too funny, because at the moment where Arvind said, "Here's Hayden," you weren't there yet. It was like an empty chair. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
That mythical guy is here
Yeah.
again.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for your time. Time is our most precious thing. So spending some time together is enormously valuable, and something for which I'm really, really grateful. I thought before we jump into too much else, it would just be a good idea for me to just go through the information that I have. Anna, Kirsten, Darian, I haven't actually met you, and to be honest, I wasn't part of any of the judging or the awards themselves, so I've been given some information, which I'm pretty much going to read, so I better just check that I've got the right information, because there have been copy and paste errors made in the past. So I've got Anna McDougall, Business Analysis and Service Design Practice Lead, Transformation and Change with the New Zealand Police.
Yep,
Is that
that's
right,
me,
Terry?
Terry. Yes,
Yep.
that's a very long title.
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. There's so much going on in that title.
So much going on.
And actually, I did read your submission as well. So there's so much going on in your space.
Yeah.
So, okay, awesome. I've got Darian Templeman, Director, Digital Solution Delivery Services with Queensland Health.
That's my new role title. So since the award, I was the BA practice lead for business analysis within eHealth Queensland. And now I'm the director of our PMO function.
Wow. So you've gone
Oh.
from BA practice lead to director as a result of the award.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
I think it's about 20 struggle.
Might have something to do with all your hard work as well, but
It was the award. It was the award. So, people in the organisation are sick and tired of me saying about it. 'Cause I think at every forum, every meeting, we mentioned it just to get it out there from a publicity perspective. So it's well recognised. So why not? You got to.
yeah, absolutely. Well done. That's really awesome. And then I've got Kirsten Long, business analyst within the Reframe Proposition Design Department at New Zealand Police. Is that right, Kirsten? Okay, awesome. And Anna Rajanda, am I saying that right, Anna?
That's close enough. Yep.
Close enough. Yeah, I'd say the same thing about my last name to people. Senior Manager, Business Analysis with RAC in Perth. And you were the recipient. Oh, yeah, and you're the Dr. Cecily McDougall, Business Analyst of the Year.
Yep. That's
recipient.
correct.
So the formatting
Yep,
colour
although I
changed a
suppose
bit
like
there.
Darian, I've changed roles since the
Oh, you're a
award.
director now as well?
No, I'm not a director. I'm still the senior manager, but I was just a senior business analyst at Western Power when I won the award.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, let me just change this because all of them had like the award and then the details, but yours had your name and then the award inside your name. So I'm just changing that. So
I was speaking it as I was writing it, so I was trying to mix up the way we said should make it interesting.
all good, all good. But I'll put it in the same format in the document. So then the way I approach the information is the same, even if the way I use it and share it varies as we go. And then for the judges, Hayden Thomas, Chief Mindovator at Mindovation.
That's it.
Cool. Thank you, Hayden. Arvind Arcott, IIBA Australia Workforce Director.
That's me.
And Michael Orgello.
He's not with us yet.
Michael's no longer with us. Actually, I won't say it. I won't say it like that. Michael is a strategic advisor to IIBA and founder of Optimize You.
That's it.
So the plan or agenda as I have it is a little bit of an intro, exactly what we just went through as to who's in the room, who will we be hearing from, and then for just a reasonably brief period, maybe 5 minutes, I was thinking, or Kylie sort of proposed it, but when we talked about this earlier, the idea was to throw to the judges for a little bit about what made these recipients stand out. What was it about these submissions that spoke to you? What was it that encouraged you to put them on the shortlist and eventually to choose them as winners? And that's literally like 5 minutes, so not huge discussion. And then we go to the winners. And the sorts of questions that we were thinking of is what made you submit an application? And I've got a couple of names connected to a couple of pieces. When you found out you were shortlisted as a finalist, what were your feelings or thoughts? And then when you were announced as a winner, what was your reaction? It's been almost 6 months. What did the award do for your professional and personal development? So I might give that one to you, Darian. Although Anna, I might give that to you as well. But definitely you've got a story to tell there. And then what would your advice be to those considering entering this year? I think that's a really key question, because there's a lot of people who might be sort of thinking, oh, will I, won't I? I've done some good BA stuff this year. Is it really award worthy? Because a lot of people won't sort of recognize that necessarily in their own work. So maybe a few words of encouragement would be good. We can potentially take some Q&A from the audience as well. And then we sort of come back to the judges. And again, a little bit more, what would you advise for people who are considering submitting this year? And then I sort of throw back to Brianna, who will G everyone up and build some excitement. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions?
Kylie, any indication how many people registered?
Sorry, 35 when I looked at it this morning, so I haven't looked since.
Okay. We will have to do a lot of propagation after the event. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So yeah, the newsletter on Wednesday will focus it quite highly. It'll be the main part, and then the social media campaign will start on Thursday. So yeah. Can I just ask, actually, for our recipients from last year, if when we're promoting the individual awards, if we were to acknowledge you as last year's winner and tag you, would that be okay? Would you still be happy to be promoted?
Yeah, it's fine.
this year?
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
okay with that.
Cool, thank you. Did anyone have any questions for Terry or about anything else while we're here? If you're wondering about nominating for this year's, you are more than welcome to nominate in another category. You can't nominate in the one that you won though. So we are.
Kylie, if I was to nominate someone else in my team, I can't nominate in the emerging BA category?
No, you can nominate a new person in the,
Yeah.
in the same categories, but you can't nominate New Zealand Police for Practice of the Year again.
Yep.
So
No, all good.
we are also, as you'll hear, doing a leadership award and a BA Innovation Award this year as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So there's a few other options there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can certainly, like Darian, for example, now as director, you can nominate for Leader of the Year if you wanted to for yourself.
Yeah.
Michael's here
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna come sit in the front?
Yeah. We are doing this so that we don't kill the sport, so to speak. We don't want to end up with Michael Schumacher for 17 years running.
Saddle up.
Michael,
Right.
How's things in Melbourne, gentlemen?
Yeah, we are live. No, not with
No, we're
everyone
not
else.
live.
This is the pre-meeting one.
We got 9 more minutes.
Yeah. And we've got a couple of imposters in here that don't run BA practices anymore. Darian's now a PMO director, Anna's now a senior manager, Kirsten's ruling the world in New Zealand, and Anna's got a title too long for a business card.
Which of you made me cry? Which of you made me cry? I had tears in my eyes hearing your stories.
Michael, I think
I
a
couldn't do
couple
it
of people,
deliberately.
couple of people made you cry.
For different reasons.
Yes.
Some good,
Yeah.
some not so good.
I think the three amigos play around with the camera. You have to potentially go a little bit further because you are kind of well, you can structure this plateau a little bit better.
That's gonna work.
Maybe bring us down a little.
Use the orange tie as a source of center for yourself.
Center point,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
But you know, might need to position it so you're roughly an equal distance from it as well, because Aravind, you're a lot closer than Michael.
Come back, mate. Come back with us. Come back with the second class. There we go. Now we look like
Better now?
three amigos.
Someone needs to-
Let's find this, so we don't need that. Good point. Did you got your notes?
Mhm. So we've got the today's agenda and all that. So some questions are there. So I can keep scrolling up if you want to be.
That's fine. So at 7:35, there's 5 minutes of why we picked these wonderful winners, why they stood out.
Yeah.
And if we're going to encourage others to do it, why we would do it.
Okay.
What we're looking for.
Yeah. And in when they throw it away,
Yes.
who's speaking first?
Oh, you can go.
I'll go last. I'll go last. I'll say whatever they said.
Yeah. Right, I'm happy to go first if that makes life easy.
You're in the center for a reason.
Sorry?
You're in the center for a reason.
Okay. I'm gonna get a tie centre. Hang on, there it is.
So Michael, how do I properly pronounce your surname?
Or just think of orgy or jello. Or jello. ORJ.
Okay, or Jello.
That's it.
I won't be thinking of orgy though.
I was going to
No.
say that's really not the most appropriate thing to think about when
No.
you're on a video conference.
Yeah. It's yeah. And I have the details for you here as strategic advisor with IIBA and founder of Optimize You.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so are we ready to enter our first guest? Or, yeah. I'll start entering as they come in.
Smile nicely.
Welcome, Andrew. Can you hear us, Andrew?
Hi, sorry.
Yay, and we can hear you too, so that's good. It's working.
Good.
Thank you for being so passionate about tonight that you're joining 5 minutes early. It's wonderful to see. So Anna, I might just ask you to go on mute because I think it's you. We can hear you
Yeah,
typing
sorry.
and it's all good. Thank you. Welcome, Anita. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you.
So it's 5:30, and being that we're all BAs of some description and we love the detail, we'd normally want to get started right on time to respect our time box. But I suspect there might be people just literally finishing up their last meeting. So we might give them a minute or two more to join. Hi, Benil. Hi, Jared. Hi, Janine. Ah, Luigi, of course. And I've seen your name before as well. Hey, Luigi. I should have known. We'll get going in one more minute. That should be enough time for people who are in back-to-back meetings. Hi, Gayatri.
Hey Terry, sorry I'm late. Looking forward to the session.
Me too. It's going to be great. Hey, Tim. Welcome.
G'day, how you going?
Fantastic. On top of the world.
That's must be because it's International Happiness Day.
Is it?
It is today.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I should have known that. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. But no, thankfully, the way gravity works, the Earth is always below me. So I'm always on top of the world.
It's a great way of thinking. I love it.
It's a glass completely full mindset. Some people say, is it half full? Is it half empty? I say it's completely full. half of it might be air and the other half water, but it's still completely full. And with that, let's get started. So welcome one and all, and also welcome to those who haven't actually had the chance to join yet, to the Australia and New Zealand IIBA What Does Success Look Like awards program, celebrating the success of our winners and participants from last year. Before we commence, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we join this meeting. I am in Dharawal country. I know that we have people here from Wallumattagal country, but I also know that we're joining today's session from the countries of many traditional owners. So I would like to extend respect to their elders past, present and emerging of all of the countries from which we're joining this session, to recognize their unbroken connection to land, to water and their story. I think it's very important that we take that acknowledgement seriously. It's more than just a few words we say at the beginning of a meeting. It actually conveys genuine respect for the oldest culture in the world. So thank you again for joining. The fact that time is our most precious commodity makes me extra grateful for the fact that you're spending time with us today. We're going to have a chat with our award recipients from 2022. And they're all online with us today. So an enormous thanks goes out to them as well. We have from the practice of the year, the one of two winners of practice of the year, we have Anna McDougall, the business analysis and service design practice lead, transformation and change with the New Zealand Police. So I know you're all on mute.
Hi,
but,
everyone.
Let's give Anna a round of applause. Congratulations, Anna, and thank you for joining us. Anna is very grateful that we don't need business cards anymore because her title is too long to fit on a business card. But she is the representative from the New Zealand Police for the practice of the year. We also have Darian Templeman. He's the Director, Digital Solution Delivery Services with Queensland Health. So please welcome Darian.
Hey everyone. Happy to be here tonight.
Thank you, Darian. And you're coming through loud and clear. We can hear you perfectly. We also have the emerging BA of the year, Kirsten Long, who is a business analyst within the Reframe Proposition Design Department, also at the New Zealand Police. So welcome, Kirsten. Say hi, Kirsten.
Sorry, trying to come off mute. Hi, kia ora. Thank you for having me. Excited to chat with everyone.
Yeah, sorry, we've got New Zealand there as well. So kia ora. And in the interest of honesty and openness and transparency, I'm actually from New Zealand. So even though I'm in Sydney.
I'm from Canada. Okay.
Awesome. But at least you can say kia ora. So, and we also have Anna Rajanda, who is the Dr. Cecily McDougall Business Analyst of the Year award for last year. Anna is the Senior Manager Business Analysis with RAC in Perth. So please join me in welcoming Anna.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thanks, Anna. And I'd also like to welcome our judges. So we have Hayden Thomas, who is the Chief Mindovator with Mindovation. He's one of our judges, and thankfully the judges are all in the same room today. So we'll only have one camera change. Hayden, did you just want to say a quick hello?
Just doing that. Look, once again, congratulations to last year's winners. And as you can tell, it was very difficult for practice of the year, which is why we gave away 2. And we'll talk a little bit more of why we did that when we come around to it. But great to see everyone online tonight.
Thanks, Hayden. And we also have Arvind, IIBA Australia Workforce Director.
Hello all.
Say
Hello
hi,
all.
Arvind.
Hello all. Happy to be here, and congratulations to all the winners from last year. And good luck to everyone for this year.
Thanks, Arvind. And we have Michael Orgello, the strategic advisor with the IIBA and the founder of Optimize You.
Hello, everyone. Delighted to be here and delighted to be in the same room for a change with the other 2 characters here. Awesome.
And thank you so much also for your investment in time and passion and energy in providing the judging. It's not to be underestimated how much time and effort and emotional energy that takes. So before we chat to our recipients, could I just ask the judges, Arvind, Michael, Hayden, could you just tell us in a few words, what made these recipients stand out for you? What was it that made you put them on the shortlist? What was it that made you choose them as the award recipients? And maybe also a moment on why we ended up with 2 practices of the year. And I don't know if we want to go paper, scissors, rock, or
I think I lost, so I'll go first.
Okay, thank you, Hayden.
Thanks, Terry. Look, one of the first things that came to our attention looking through all the awards was that it was about business analysis and the application of business analysis rather than the actual role itself and the title. What we found is that it was about creating the value that business analysis did in the organisations and for the end users that they were basically representing. And the benefit of working with New Zealand Police and hearing about how it's in a non-traditional, non-IT style approach, leveraging it, and how we did that all the way through all the different scenarios that they were working through last year and the year before. And then also when it came to Queensland Health, about the way in which they took a commitment to care. And I don't mean that just in healthcare, but care about what they're doing and the value that they were creating for the 14 different districts that they were representing. And it wasn't just a centralised area, it was a decentralised model as well. So what came out of both of those, specifically in regards to the practice of the year, was that it was the demonstrated value that they were doing. It was really what we believe business analysis is designed to do. So once again, we talked about what they were doing, some wonderful innovative approaches that they were taking, but then more importantly was that how they align that back with using business analysis to achieve the outcome rather than just focusing on frameworks. When it came to emerging analyst of the year, it was a very easy one for Kirsten, was that she spoke with passion. Okay, she really cared about what she was doing. She believed in what she was doing and that how what she was doing was going to make a significant difference, not only for the organisation she represented, but also what services and products came out of what she was preparing and working with. So what came out of those were, though, I was lucky enough to be able to judge both of those. I guess probably the word of advice I'll give to anyone on the call at the moment is to be authentic. Okay, don't just regurgitate, cut and paste. Tell us the story of why you believe you deserve it. Okay, because doing your job is not enough. Okay, that's what a lot of people, it's a cut and paste. It's not a CV. This is about really the value that you're adding back to you, your community, and to the end result.
I all that. And the one thing I wanted to emphasize there is the power of storytelling. I think BAs as a profession are meant to be very good storytellers naturally. And I think a lot of the people who were shortlisted and eventually won, I think that aspect of them stood out. And how I see that is the level of detail that they put in their application was a reflection of their storytelling ability. And that easily stood out in all the 3 cases. I mean, obviously, I wasn't part of the practice of the judging because I was in the race myself. Yep. But the other 2, not even emerging. I needed the BA of the Year award. And what really stood out for me in our case, Anna, was the level of detail and the ability to tell a compelling story. So that was what won me over. Michael?
Yeah, congratulations to the winners, but also all the applicants. Not everyone can be winners, so a shout out to all the applicants. I wrote 3 things down last week in preparation for this, and our judges beside me have no, they haven't stolen. You've ticked all the boxes. I wrote adding value, storytelling, and being able to communicate the value they're adding, and not only to us as judges, but clearly with their authenticity. They'd worked it out for themselves, and they were true to themselves, and they weren't just trying to impress us. So us would see through that. They weren't trying to necessarily win an award. They were just communicating authentically what they do all day, every day, and absolutely they tied it back to business and all that. And frankly, they made me very proud. Not just the winners, all the applicants, but especially the winners. They made me proud to be part of this community. So thank you. Well done, and thank you.
Yeah, I think that last part there is probably something that was an underlying theme for each and every award. It was not that selfishness you were just talking about, it was that authenticity, but more how they gave back to the community, whether that's the business analysis community, whether it's a health community, whether it's policing community, or even just the community in general. It was that concept of giving of themselves for others to benefit. So really amplifying and articulating that is a great way to really reinforce your application.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. And thanks once again for your investment in time. And as I said, an emotional energy. There's quite a bit of emotion that goes through assessing these stories and having to assess people and come up with a winner. That's actually really hard. So thank you all so much for everything you've invested in bringing this to life. Let's talk to our winners. Winners are grinners. Winners success. Yes. Amazing. So I might start out with Anna Rajanda. So if it's okay with you, Anna, would you mind just sharing a little bit of your story? You are the Service Manager Business Analysis with RAC in Perth, I understand, and you won the Dr. Cecily McDougall Business Analyst of the Year. So quite an honour. Do you want to just tell us a little about maybe yourself, your practice, what you think made you who you are today?
So you already introduced me as Anna Rajanda. I am currently Senior Manager of Business Analysis at the RAC. It's a role I haven't held for very long. When I applied for the award, I was actually a Senior Business Analyst on a pilot project at Western Power, looking at how we integrate renewable energies into the grid. So it was a very interesting project that had quite a high profile and potentially a lot of benefits for the community. But ostensibly, I was just doing my job when the awards were announced, and I didn't really think much of it. I saw that they had opened applications for the awards and dismissed it. So it was actually a junior colleague of mine who convinced me to submit an application for the awards, and she actually went to the extent of talking to some senior colleagues and getting references from them for me. So I kind of felt I had to put in an application at that point. So that was so that was kind of a vote of confidence from her. I thought I should push through. So that's why I ended up submitting an application for the award.
Interesting story. So not forced, but almost kind of driven to it by a colleague.
Yeah, we ended up. I guess something that I found a bit difficult was the self-nomination, which I wasn't necessarily comfortable with initially. But I had a conversation with her because we sort of have an informal mentoring relationship. And I had a conversation with her about doing things out of your comfort zone. And I thought, well, if I'm kind of asking her to do that, I need to do that myself. So that's where we ended up.
So that's a lesson we can all take from that then, stepping outside your comfort zone. There's an old saying, the treasure that you seek is in the cave you fear to enter. So stepping outside your comfort zone, that's a fabulous learning for us to take. Thank you, Anna. Maybe I'll talk to Kirsten next. So Kirsten, emerging BA of the year, congratulations.
Thank you.
Although it probably feels like you've emerged by now. Not emerging.
Bit of a
anymore.
running joke, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you hear that every day. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Could you maybe just share with us a little of your story, and maybe some of your feelings, your thoughts when you found that you'd been shortlisted and eventually was chosen as the winner?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So yeah, a bit of my story. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not from here, I'm from Canada. And I did an undergrad in criminology and super passionate about pursuing a career as a police officer. I thought that was the best thing in the world and the best way to contribute to your community and helps create safer communities and yeah, really just be out there solving problems and yeah, connecting with people in my community and giving back in a way that the only way I thought you could. Kind of fast forward a couple of years, I moved to New Zealand on a working holiday visa. I was only supposed to be here for a year. It's been 4 years. And I thought about pursuing a career in policing in New Zealand. And so I joined a cause, a big project that police was working on, the amnesty and buyback program for firearms after the Christchurch shooting. And I fell into a role and I didn't know I was doing business analysis, but I was doing business analysis. And yeah, I eventually ended up having a conversation with Anna and yeah, did what I could to join the practice and learn about business analysis. And that's kind of what led me to here. In terms of when I learned that I won, I was shocked, even if it was that I was shortlisted, because just kind of finding business analysis, I've had a lot of imposter syndrome into this profession, and not only just living in a country as an expat, but if I belong in the community here. And yeah, once I won it, even just like I said, being shortlisted, actually even before that, sorry, just getting the feedback from Anna and from my mentor into the application, just feeling like I should, and I should apply and I do belong. And then so just being shortlisted and then eventually learning that I won was just, yeah, a huge vote of confidence into yeah, a space that I won. And I remember specifically Hayden mentioning in the interview that, you know, everybody has imposter syndrome and that doesn't necessarily go away. So that was nice that he shared that, and it's nice to know that it's a common feeling, but ultimately just really proud to be a part of a community that accepts everybody. And it was an amazing process to go through to discover my why and to be able to, yeah, flesh that out and yeah, again, be a part of a community.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Kirsten, for sharing. And I think for the sharing with a little bit of vulnerability as well, a little bit of truth for us all to think about. It is true, everyone has imposter syndrome. I'm here talking in front of a group of BAs and I'm not even a BA, so I'm definitely an imposter. But thank you so much. And speaking of Anna, you mentioned Anna as you were speaking. I might now go to Anna McDougall. Anna is the Business Analysis and Service Design Practice Lead for Transformation and Change with the New Zealand Police, so same organisation, but one of two winners of Practice of the Year. Anna, could you maybe just share a little about your story, as the others have, and then a little bit about your reaction when you heard that that the practice that you lead was the winner of Practice of the Year award?
Yep. Right. So I'm Anna McDougall. I joined police in March 2021, so I've just clocked over 2 years. I'd been a lead BA at another organisation before that and been in business analysis for quite a few years. When I came to police, the group of BAs were great, probably didn't have as much discipline or maturity when I joined, and we had probably about 15 of us at that time, a mix of contractors and permanent staff. And since I've started, we've grown to 58. So it's a significant growth, and we have branched out across a lot of police. So at police, we look after the business side of business analysis, and there's another team that look after the more technical business analysis work. And it's, yeah, we do a lot of really interesting projects, and the key thing I think that sort of joins us all is we want to do our work to help the community, to help the frontline staff, and make New Zealand a safer place. So a key thing for me when I hire anyone is that they need to be having that community focus. And Kirsten is someone that I've brought into the team. She definitely has that passion, and we've got a lot of BAs in that space. So when I was shortlisted, I probably a bit like Anna, I don't really like to toot my own horn, and so I wasn't actually going to submit an application for Practice of the Year. So I very much encourage Kirsten and Nicole, who also went for the Emerging BA, and Nadine for BA of the Year. So worked with them on their applications, but I wasn't going to do practice. And then my manager, who's the Director of Transformation and Change, he said, you have to put your application in. And he said, oh, I've drafted something, and he gave it to me on the night of when it had to go in, because I'm like, I'm too busy. And then I picked it up, and being a BA, I had to make it perfect and fit every section within the word limit, because I thought that's something they're really going to pick up on. And so submitted it that night. And it's great to get shortlisted and fantastic to win. It's a real recognition of where we've come as a practice, and of the projects that we're in, and that we've contributed to the successful rollout of a number of pieces of work. And it's not all easy work that we do. It can be quite challenging. But yeah, it's great recognition for the team, for the members of my team who made the shortlist and finalist, and to win for Kirsten is great, and for the practice to win is great as well.
Thank you, Anna. I think you raised some really amazing points there as well. What sort of struck home for me is the connection that you have to supporting your people, but also how that flows out to society. For me, that's such a big part of the business analysis role. We can sort of get caught up in detail and frameworks and things like that, and they all support us. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is helping people, and together with those people, delivering wonderful things out to society. So, and I imagine in police, you would have some very challenging times, like especially after things like the mosque murders and some of those things. It must get really hard.
You know, just an example, recently, and I'm not sure if you would have heard about it in Australia, but we've had some quite catastrophic weather events here. And, you know, I was approached, could our team help with logistics of sending police staff up there and searching for missing persons? And that's a sign that they recognise that our people are, you know, really, really agile and able to work in a number of spaces quickly, which is great, and add value. So that's, yeah, it's tough. Sometimes we get moved onto things that we don't expect we're going to be doing that day when we arrive at police.
Yeah, no, that strikes a chord as well. I might move now, if it's okay, to Darian, who is our other recipient of Practice of the Year. And not that one's better than the other. The whole reason we have two is that there were two that were so good, we just couldn't differentiate between them. It's not like one was good and the other was second or anything. So Darian is the Director of Digital Solution Delivery Services with Queensland Health. So Darian, could you maybe just share a little bit about your experience through that whole thing? And the question I'd probably ask you is, in the 6 months since the announcement, what has the award done for your professional and personal development?
I think the journey I'll start from, I think Abby's online tonight. I want to give a shout out to Abby, who's our IIBA Brisbane chair or president. She actually said she'd be nominating for Practice of the Year. And Abby actually joined several of our community practice sessions early on. If you remember, Abby, there was only about 20 to 30 attending some of those sessions early on. And she pushed, she encouraged, she could see that what we're putting in place, and continued to encourage myself along that journey, and help nominate or put forward our nomination. And very thankful to Abby, but also everyone part of IIBA, the panel who've been supporting us on our journey, which has been fantastic. And I think the journey was quite easy, I think, and very reflective though. It gave us an opportunity to actually look where we come from and where we've been. And I've been in a practice role for a number of years, and when senior leadership came to me and asked to put the practice across all of eHealth and Queensland Health, I actually made a negotiation or deal with them, is that, yep, I will do that if they're on board with me and they come on the journey with me. Because I've seen practices start and fail when there's only one person leading it, and it had to be a community-driven approach. That's where I've called in IIBA. Abby came on that journey, and others across the industry, and my colleagues and senior leaders. And so it just grew from there. And part of the interview panel, I think Hayden and the team mentioned around telling your story, telling your journey. And I think when we started that off, the initial question, we actually probably took the interview process over and presented our entire end-to-end story from where we started to where we are heading as well. And probably that's something I'll pass on to others, is tell that story, tell that journey, make that connection of the people, that community that you are representing, industry as well, but also your organisation that you're part of. So we talk about people, process, technology, bringing it into people, industry, and your organisation as well. So the journey was fantastic. It was reflective, but also that sense of achievement of where we want to, what we want to achieve, and where we came from and where we're heading. So I guess personally, and from a professional perspective, obviously I'm now in a director role of our program management office, delivery support services. And you talk about out of your comfort zone. Well, very much felt out of my comfort zone in this new role, being a director, overseeing PMO, coming from a BA background, a practice side, to now looking after finance and governance and reporting and a lot of other priority areas for our large portfolio. That comfort zone was very hit hard, but you know, again, coming back to why was I put into that position, and you know, that recognition of being able to lead a team, bring people on that journey and support and build that capability was what they wanted me in that role for, and that's what we're progressing with. So it's not always about your technical knowledge or if you know a particular framework or how to do things. It's also about your leadership and that capability from a practice lead, and us as BAs bring, and that engagement that we have. So professionally, obviously advancing in a director role, that recognition from a profile perspective in the organisation has done fantastic wonders for myself, got my name out there, but also that recognition of our practice, that we are here, we are growing, we are here to stay as well. And I think in the journey we mentioned, we're about 80 odd members. We're now over 100 in our COP in Queensland Health. So it's just growing and continuing to grow. So that recognition as well. And I think just that acknowledgement of my own career journey as well, that, you know, I can do this. We have achieved something. We set out that objective. And when I talk about the reflective side, I took time to reflect on my own career journey, where we're heading, where I was heading as well. So we achieved something astonishing, which is fantastic to that as practice managers and practice leads were able to achieve. But what's next? And the director role came up, and so now I'm moving to that direction. But I'll never forget the roots where I come from, and continue to support the BA practice, and also supporting IIBA Brisbane now in the education and client engagement, which working closely with Abby and the team, which is a new role and fantastic. So I look forward to that journey as well. So professionally within my organisation, but also externally, it's grown. It's not all about the award, but it's what you give back to the community as well. And look about what Hayden mentioned as well. Attending his courses and other mentors is pay it forward. We give a lot back to our community, not only in health but also the BA community, and that just extends in further into what we are trying to achieve across Queensland Health and government and in our communities as well, in our delivery. So yeah, it's been fun.
I love that. Thank you, Darian. So is your practice set up more as a community of practice and it's not sort of reporting lines?
So we have a practice centre within our delivery services branch. And that's what I'm a lead of. But then we also have a community of practice attached to that. So our practice centre manages all sort of core BA resources, our professional development, standards, frameworks, and activities. Then our community is driven by our community for our monthly meetings, what areas we need to focus on, our development topics that we want to hear more about and learn more about. But also not just from a BA and a standards and professional, but also what's happening within our organisation and across government as well, and private sector as well. What are they doing differently that we can leverage and bring in? So we've been, I'd say, blessed to have fantastic speakers come in from across industry and internally as well to just build that knowledge and capability, and we can see it's continuing to grow.
Yeah, awesome. Well done. That's hard. So well done for bringing that all together and giving it the energy and the love to bring it to life, because when it isn't directly reporting lines, then you need to make it compelling for people. So I might just return maybe to Anna Rajanda next. And what would your advice be, Anna, for those considering entering this year?
Well, I suppose why not? It's I think it's for me, I suppose, as somebody who was a bit hesitant to engage with the process, I actually found the process of putting in the application quite good, because it allows you to kind of focus on what you've accomplished and why you do what you do. It's a slightly different focus to maybe a CV or a job application. So I found that reflection process, maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but also quite good, taking me out of my comfort zone anyway for a little while. And you never know, you might get shortlisted. Yeah, completely agree with the person who talked about imposter syndrome. I've always suffered from imposter syndrome. I think as BAs, because we cover so many different perspectives and often different domains, and that we can feel like that. So it's the process of putting in the application and then getting shortlisted and winning has helped with my imposter syndrome a little bit, made me a little bit more confident in my own abilities.
Yeah, awesome. And that support and the confidence, I think, is something that I really wish we could somehow just infect all BAs with that. I remember early in my career, and with a lot of the BAs that I coach, they can sometimes be a little bit quiet when they're sitting next to someone super senior. It's like, actually, you have the knowledge that person is looking for. You have the skills, the capabilities to help that super senior person turn data and information, which on their own are meaningless, into knowledge. And with that knowledge, their leadership and their experience hopefully gives them the wisdom to know what to do with it. But they can't do that without you helping them turn data and information into knowledge.
Yeah,
but then they'll be a little bit quiet. So
having confidence in your own analysis as well. Being able to tell that story and present it to those senior stakeholders, I think is a very key skill for business analysts.
yes.
And certainly putting in an application for an award like this is a good way of sort of honing your storytelling skills, particularly since the judges have made the connection and said storytelling was a big thing for the shortlisted and the eventual winners.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm having a weird thing go on. When I shake my head, my whole laptop moves. So it looks like I'm shaking my head really vigorously. I'm kind of shaking it just a normal amount, but my screen wobbles at the same time.
Like
'Cause
one
I'm
of
at
those
a- I'm
bobbleheads
at
in
a-
the back of the car.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm at a standing desk, so it's sort of extra wobbly. But look, thank you. No, that's really, I think, good advice for all BAs, and maybe submitting this year. For those who are only just kind of thinking about it in the back of their mind, maybe go ahead. But I'd like to throw the same question to Kirsten as emerging BA of the year. You know, you might sort of bring a fresh perspective as well. What would you say to someone who's thinking about applying?
Yeah, similar. Definitely go for it. I think the process is really cathartic, and it really centers in on your why, as I think everybody's kind of touched on today, which is really cool. And just the process of doing it, I think that, and don't use Chat GPT, because now that's a thing that people will probably use, but it goes hand in hand with, you know, I think what Hayden and Michael and Arvin were said earlier, they're not looking for specific answers. They're looking for, you know, what your why is and what's compelling in storytelling. And I think it's just, if you can get that down and you can really reflect on why you're doing what you're doing, regardless if you get shortlisted or if you are lucky enough to win, it really kind of centers you in why you show up for work, why you get out of bed, because we spend so much of our time doing what we do. If this process can help with anything, it kind of solidifies that. And if you're maybe not in a role that gives you that, you know, that feeling of passion, maybe it helps you kind of, you know, do the same analysis, but for somebody, for a different type of organization or company that, you know, kind of gives you that sense of, this is why I get out of bed every day. And I think that the process and the questions that the application asks you, you know, triggers you to kind of, yeah, get deep and figure out your why. So yeah, definitely do it. If you're thinking about it, just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And be very careful about Chat GPT as well. So I was having a debate with some Agile friends, and we were asking Chat GPT some questions you'd normally ask Agile coaches and seeing what it came up with. And it was scarily like, oh, actually, that's pretty close to what I would say. But then I did get it to write a short paragraph about a few things in the style of Terry Haayema. And it came back with, oops, there was an error. We couldn't figure that one out. So, but like with a lot of these tools, be careful what you ask for, because, you know, rubbish in, rubbish out. And it's not going to be your story. The key thing is your story. We've also heard from a few people that they weren't maybe pushed, but highly encouraged to actually submit. So I'm wondering if you're thinking yourself of submitting, and there's someone in your practice or someone you know in the community, or maybe someone you're in a study group with, because IIBA study groups are great ways to meet people. Maybe you can form a bit of a dynamic duo and help each other to just refine your story and just bring it to that next level. And while you're helping someone else, you'll be helping yourself. So there is the other idea that whatever you want for yourself, the best way to get it is to help someone else get it. So if you're seeking joy, then helping other people to find joy will bring you joy. If you're seeking accolades from the business analysis community across Australia and New Zealand, then winning one of these awards is certainly one way to do that. But the best way to do that is to help someone else win. So maybe together you could go down that path. I'm just going to continue on that question though, because I think it's such an illuminating one. And maybe if we jump to Darian, just to share your thoughts on your advice for people who are considering entering?
I think it comes back to the point I made earlier, is to tell your story, tell your journey. I think the application process is quite easy once you've got through that part. But once you come to the interview, as I said earlier, we sort of took the interview process over. We had our presentation, we had it prepared, because we really wanted to tell where we came from, what we've achieved, and where we're heading. And that it was an opportunity to actually tell your story, but what you've achieved, even if you don't end up winning the award. What a great acknowledgement, one, to be nominated, but also to stand in front of a panel of our industry leaders and people, peers, and people who have supported our BA practices and IIBA and our industry for years in their careers, but also to tell your story, what you're achieving, what you're doing as well, where you're heading, but also get advice as well to see, okay, if you did win, or if you do win as well, you know, where are we heading? What could we do better? What could we do differently? Are we on the right track, or is there an area you think we could focus on a little bit better? But it's also from our part to see we had a goal in place, we had an objective, we had a plan, and it was great acknowledgement to see that we fulfilled that plan and that objective. My senior director who came on the panel with me, Maria, we talked about after our interview, we said, how do we think we went? And we both said, we really want the award. And it wasn't just because coming from a personal perspective, I want this, but it was recognition of what we set out to do. She had a plan in place to bring something in strategically. I wanted to continue to advance our BA practice and an opportunity to bring across all of Queensland Health and continue that journey. So we had different reasons why we wanted it as well, but it was just great for that connection, and we achieved our goals we wanted to achieve. And yeah, it just continues on from there. It's so if you're wanting to apply, definitely go ahead and do. It's a great opportunity to share your story, your journey, but also to speak about your BAs, your community, and you know how good your BA team is. I think is a great opportunity as well. BAs are awesome. So
absolutely, yes, BAs. But you raise a great point there as well, in just sort of thinking through your story, and telling your story is like a form of reflection as well. And you may well end up seeing your own story differently just by going through that exercise. So
absolutely, that was definitely for myself. And looking at that out of your comfort zone, that imposter or that confidence to do things, you know, I've experienced it so many times, still experience it occasionally today when you have to go into meetings and things, but we're there for a reason. You've got your experience, but also with the practice, you bring your team on that journey as well. So it wasn't just about me or Maria presenting, it was the whole team behind us as well. So that was something that we hopefully brought out in our presentation, but it was that recognition for the whole team effort. All those leads have put in the effort as well. So you bring everyone on that journey, and yeah, you're successful because you've got great people around you, behind you, above, and supporting. So it's a recognition for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Darian. And Anna McDougall, I might ask you the same question as well, as to what's your advice for those considering entering this year?
Sure. I'll give you a little bit of information about my practice, which I think ties in with this. So in 2021, we did like a Clifton Strengths assessment on our BAs, and it was pretty typical results. And one area where we were not high in was marketing ourselves. So BAs, I think quite often, you know, they're, you know, analytical, they're strategic, detailed, they like to get in and do the stuff. What they're not always good at, and this is a generalization, but is talking about how awesome they are and what they can do and how they can add value to your project or your organization. So I really wanted, when it came to the awards last year, I really wanted to show how good the BAs in my team were, which is why I basically made Kirsten and Nicole and Nadine made them contribute and put forward an application. I'm not forcing them, but I encourage them. And I think it's really important as BAs that we do speak up about the awesome work that we do and our achievements, because sometimes that gets lost. You know, you get a project and it's delivered successfully on time or on budget, and that's great. The project team gets rewarded. But the work that we do is not always recognised to the extent that I think it should be. So this is just an opportunity for business analysts to show what great work they've done, and for the BA community to learn about some other BAs, to learn about what's happening in New Zealand or what's happening in Australia for us, and that the community is quite strong. So I'd really love to hear that this year there's more nominations than last year, to really show that you know, our BA community is strong and growing. So yeah, I'd love to hear that people put themselves forward for it.
Me too. Let's double the number of nominations this year, and that can easily happen if we just all tell a few friends, hey, you've done some awesome things. Share your story and maybe help them a little bit. Let's just give everyone, come off mute for a moment, and let's give all our winners a resounding round of applause, and a thank you and a congratulations. Well done, everyone, for the courage of facing your imposter syndrome and getting out of your comfort zone and talking about yourselves when maybe that's not comfortable. And let's face it, for winning. I'll go back to the judges now. And you shared earlier when we spoke why recipients were successful. But I'd ask you the same question I just asked all our winners, as to what you think is going to help people who are submitting this year.
Michael, let's start with you.
No,
Yeah, Michael.
with me this time.
We'll go in opposite order. We'll start with Michael.
Opposite order. Well, I think the clue is with the recipient, the winners from the 2022. I think in a remarkable way, they demonstrated their authenticity, which gave me goosebumps again. And they demonstrated the authenticity and their ability to tell their stories. And they were able to unpack for themselves first, in the process of going through the application, their why, and they demonstrated self-awareness. And it's not about necessarily winning or losing. It's about sharing their story, as Terry has said a few times. And in a strange way, I think, hard to articulate. What the judges will be looking for, I think, is it's, in a way, I can't tell you what we're looking for. The applicants will be telling us
listening to them anyway.
what they've got to say. I don't know. It's I'll stop talking.
Thanks, Michael. Arvind?
I'll just say, be genuine to yourself. I just love what Kirsten said about how she discovered her why. If not for anything else, do it for that purpose. Okay, this whole process will actually teach us as applicants a lot more about ourselves than about anything else. And it helps you realize your own value, the value you add to your organization, for yourself to take that story with, not just to the awards, but to all your future jobs, to all your future stakeholders, your life stakeholders, but do it for yourself first. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say is we also want to see a lot of you all giving back to the community. And by saying giving back, I don't necessarily mean come and register yourself as a volunteer with IIBA. I'm not saying that. You're always welcome to do that. But giving back doesn't necessarily have to be only through IIBA. It can be through your organization. It can be through your networks. You could be a mentor for someone in your life. Do that. You know, if you're an emerging BA and you think, oh no, I only got a few years of experience, I'm not as experienced as the BA of the year. No, you do have a lot more experience. You could go to graduates and be their guiding light. All right. So encourage yourself to go. And
having said that, Kirsten taught me a thing or two, and I'm old enough to be a dad.
So there you go.
So there you go. So,
there you go. So no matter what age you are, you're always teaching someone else as well.
Sure. Thanks, Arvind.
Yeah.
We're nearly out of time, but Michael, did you have any comments you'd like to add? Oh, sorry, Hayden. Sorry, not Michael.
I'll leave you with a quote. 5 lions are sitting on a rock. One decides to jump off. How many are sitting on the rock? 5, because deciding and doing are 2 very separate things. So if you are just thinking about doing it, don't think, take action, encourage those people. And to be honest, Anna, you wouldn't be on here today unless people are encouraging you. So once again, my concept here is, as we've talked a lot about here, put that there. But ultimately, I think if I had to put it down, is one of the things that stood out with all the winners was the selflessness. Okay, it was not about them. It was not about the recognition for themselves. It was about the recognition of their teams, the individuals and the organisations, and more importantly, the people that they represent and why they do the work. So once again, that sense of selflessness of how it contributes is a big ticket item. That comes through in storytelling. So once again, don't think, decide.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So again, everyone, please come off mute. And this time, rather than applause for congratulations, it's going to be applause for gratitude. Thank you to our judges for your time, your energy, your passion for the BA practice and the BA role and the people who are doing it. So thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause, gentlemen.
And if I could just sort of throw my 2 cents in, when you're writing your story, think about what it feels like for the people that you're contributing to. What impact did it have? What contribution did it make? How did you leave them feeling? Not you left them with a new system or enhancements to a system. I mean, that's important detail, but how did it make them feel? What contribution did it make to their lives, their families, their societies? And with that, I will throw to the president of IIBA Australia and New Zealand, Brianna. So Brianna, could you maybe share some words with us to wrap up?
Thank you, Terry, and thank you to all the participants. Just a slight correction. Australian chapter president have not overtaken New Zealand just yet.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So the plan to invade hasn't been executed yet?
No.
Oh, sorry.
The New Zealand board is in the midst of their rejuvenation and re-election. So hopefully they will be joining us later in the process of running the 2023 awards. So to start with, and reflecting to what Hayden said about deciding and doing. 2022 was the year when we not just decided to have the awards, we actually had the inaugural awards. It was a little bit late in the year, but we did say we are doing it, and we did it. And humongous thank you to all the people who went outside of their comfort zones and submitted applications. and big thank you to those 3 people in a room in Melbourne who donated, I don't know how much hours in time to help us all to take this off in 2022. The good news for 2023, we are doing it again. We are starting early, and it is going to be bigger and better than ever. We are going to have one new category, and that will be the BA Leader of the Year. So this is going to be a recognition for people who do a lot of contribution to our community, to our professional field, and the people who basically create the space for all the other awards to happen. So here is the chance, BA Leader of the Year, brand new in 2023. Another small change is that the Project of the Year is going to be redefined to BA Innovation of the Year. This modification and change is actually reflecting a very significant
Charlie,
sentiment.
can
And
you put Izzy to bed, please?
okay, that was not me.
Sorry, that was me. I thought I was muted. It's just my husband's out, so the kids need to go to bed. Sorry.
These are the pleasures of live video conferencing in different time zones. All good, Anna. So going back to Innovation of the Year, brand new focus on the old space around project. But this is an acknowledgement that our work, our day-to-day has shifted big time from being just the people working on projects. So roll up your sleeves, Innovation of the Year, here you come. Thinking about what our guests and our judges said. These submissions, they're all about going outside of the comfort zone and telling a story. I think every person who's ever done business analysis can relate closely to what Kirsten said. I didn't even know that I'm doing business analysis. And then I woke up one morning and there I was doing business analysis. So take it in your stride and start thinking about these submissions. Don't worry about all the nitty-gritty detail on the screen, the word count in the application forms, secret. We did not check the word count. And I don't think that we will be checking the word count this year. But talking about checking submissions, that takes me to the next point in my closing notes. Judging these categories is a very is a job of a lot of passion and actually a lot of time. We have now 5 categories. We are aiming not for doubling the submissions. I think we are aiming for tripling or quadrupling the submissions. That means that we need also support in the judging space. We need people with gravitas, with passion, with love for the profession to join us and to help us to give what is due to these people who will be bearing their souls and telling their stories. So there will be a call for judging. And guess what? In the call for judging, we expect you also to tell us the story. What will make you an excellent judge. And finally, to close up, you know that we are, I don't like calling it non-for-profit organization. We are an organization that aims to be sustainable and have a purposeful profit that we reinvest in our community. We, last year, as Australian chapter, we were chapter of the year, but we were also the finalists in the business partnership global category. We are excellent at doing the matchmaking between passionate professional people, awesome events that celebrate excellence in our profession, and all the people in our business community who want to give back. So if you feel like engaging in a sponsorship, engaging in supporting or taking over the naming rights of one of the awards, or doing something special for the awards community, please don't hesitate. Get in touch. And I think that this is basically everything that I was meant to say before, of course, saying, and don't forget, here are the dates of the awards. Towards the end, the final run of the awards, we are going to have our flagship series of events, the Festival of Business Analysis. The festival program is shaping up very nicely. For example, we are going to have a presentation on Clifton strengths and how Clifton strengths are impacting the business analysis capability and growth. So make sure that you check the website and get involved. And keep your eyes peeled, because there will be a lot of news coming up with our regular weekly newsletters. And we will keep regularly in touch to give you update between now and 17th of July, when the applications and the submissions will be expected to close. And I think that this is the exhaustive list of everything. Before I also say one very, very big thank you to our judges. Congratulations to our 2022 winners. And watch this space for 2023. That was me.
Thank you, Brianna. And I'd just like to mirror your comments. Thank you to the judges. Congratulations and thank you to our winners. And thank you to all of you for sharing with us tonight some time and having this conversation together. And hopefully you'll be able to submit or help someone else submit this year, or at the very least, maybe organize a sponsorship. So thank you all. Have a fabulously fun-filled evening. And I'll bid you adieu.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks,
Thank
Comey.
you.
Thanks, Brianna.
Hello.
Thank you, Terry. Awesome.
Good, Lou. Thank you.
And thank you, Zed. I don't know what's going on, but you were just connecting to audio the whole time. So
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Take care.
thanks.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Cherry, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ray, did you need me for anything?
Kylie, there was something, but for the life of me, I can't remember what. Like, I have to check my notes.
That's all right. Can I